A man sat at a kitchen table in Akron, Ohio, and drafted a ransom note. He misspelled the easy words on purpose. He wrote daughter instead of daughter. He wrote cops instead of cops. He wanted whoever found it to picture a clumsy, uneducated kidnapper. The writer was operating on a highly common assumption. We tend to believe that if you remove the obvious identifiers, strip away the handwritten script, the spoken voice, and the signature at the bottom, the words left behind become entirely generic. We think a block of text can belong to anyone. That same logic drives how we interact online today. We trust that typing behind a blank avatar or a burner account guarantees a clean, untraceable slate. But the way you write is not a costume you can simply take off. Linguists call it your idiolect, your own private version of your language. It operates closer to a biometric fingerprint than a conscious choice. Because your language is built on thousands of subconscious habits you don't even realize you have, any attempt to disguise your text usually fails. While you are busy faking the obvious details, your hidden linguistic rhythms inevitably expose exactly who you are to a forensic linguist. When linguist Roger Shui examined the Akron ransom note, he noticed a contradiction in the text. The writer fumbled simple vocabulary like daughter, yet spelled a difficult word like precious without a single error. A genuinely uneducated writer struggles with the hard words, not the easy ones. Deep in the text, the writer referred to the narrow strip of grass between the sidewalk and the curb as a devil strip. That specific term is almost exclusively used in one place on Earth, Akron, Ohio. The writer had disguised his spelling and education, but reached for a word so natural he didn't even register it as a clue. In 1995, the FBI faced a higher-stakes version of this linguistic trail. The Unabomber had written a 35,000-word manifesto, a dense essay about technology and society, and demanded its publication in major newspapers. FBI agent James Fitzgerald bypassed the political arguments in the text. Instead, he hunted for underlying syntactic habits and highly specific regional formatting choices that traced back to a particular era and region. Fitzgerald identified an unusual, inverted version of a common saying. Instead of the standard American phrasing, the manifesto read, "You can't eat your cake and have it too." Criminals dedicate massive amounts of energy to hiding their big ideas. They are ultimately betrayed by the localized idioms and regional vocabulary they absorbed from their hometown streets without realizing. There is a layer of linguistic profiling even deeper than regional slang. It relies entirely on the tiny connective tissue of a sentence, function words like the, of, however, and but. You can easily control the complex nouns or aggressive adjectives you select. You cannot control the microscopic rate at which you reach for one connective word over another. You deploy these words on pure, unthinking autopilot. This network graph visualizes the frequency distribution of those boring function words. Analysts map these character-level sequences and structural chains to reveal an invisible mathematical rhythm lurking inside generic text. When investigators compared the manifesto to private letters written years earlier by Ted Kaczynski, they found the same rare vocabulary and identical linguistic fingerprints. This linguistic match became the backbone of the search warrant that led investigators to this cabin in the Montana wilderness. After years with no witnesses or physical DNA, Kaczynski was brought in because of how he phrased a sentence about cake. A suspect's greatest vulnerability is rarely the dramatic narrative they construct. It is the invisible mathematical rhythm of how they string those sentences together. Language analysis lacks the absolute certainty of a DNA match. Your genetic code is fixed, but your writing style can shift depending on your mood, your audience, and whether you are typing fast on a phone or writing something formal. This chart visualizes the results of a computational study that tested writing samples across 32,000 documents. The system correctly distinguished authorship 77% of the time. In a courtroom, where an innocent person's freedom is on the line, an error rate of nearly 1 in 4 is a significant gap. This is why many judges treat linguistic evidence with extreme caution. That same probabilistic science is also used to protect the innocent. In the 1960s, linguist Jan Svartvik analyzed a police statement in a murder case and proved the language didn't match how the accused man actually spoke. He used linguistics to expose a false confession. Forensic linguistics relies on behavioral probability, which requires immense human caution. It is a tool that can unmask a false statement just as easily as it can trap a kidnapper. The hostage note has largely migrated onto the screen. Today's threats arrive as anonymous emails, burner accounts, and toxic comments written behind a wall of fake digital names. We still buy into the illusion of anonymity, believing the screen offers more protection than a handwritten letter. But every casual text message or quick email you fire off on autopilot is a trace of your identity. You are signing your name with the punctuation you favor, the rhythm you can't help, and the local terms you absorbed before you were old enough to notice. We are constantly leaving these clues behind, without ever meaning to. You can hide your name and mask your location, but the page will always remember you.